Thank you.
White Claw?
What, I know, right?
Yeah, it's just disguise. You know what I'm saying? It's like all the.
I know.
Right?
That's true. You wonder what they're actually doing, what they actually have.
Which is funny because they don't smell the regular ones that are in containers, but I had one of these one time and they're like, oh, is it really? I was like, yes, it's really that. And then you smell it. I'm like, you want to smell mine? That's what it is, but not what's in there.
I can't eat those. I'll be.
That looks
My
like,
mind will go crazy.
that's like crack in the bottle.
Yeah. I can really degrade the coffee, let alone that.
Yeah, I can't. Do that. It's crack in the bottle. What time is it? I think we should be getting.
Yeah. They're late. Let's go. I got things to do.
Okay. It's 5 after. Let's begin. And then as people come in, we can just join us, and everything. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. Very good. So today, before we get into everything else, I wanted to use today to go over anything and everything that I've heard so far regarding the real RE/MAX acquisition. So, I'm sure all of you guys heard it's like all over, the news and all over the media, that RE/MAX was purchased by Real Brokerage. When I heard the news, you know what, I was pretty excited. I was pretty, happy and excited about it. As you guys know, I've been RE/MAX for 23 years now. And I believe, in the brand. I feel like, and I know it's not just, I feel that RE/MAX, they have the highest, transaction per agent count, averaging 11 transactions per agent that is at RE/MAX, which, we're at the top of the scale. So Real basically acquired, 180,000 agents, all of their clientele, all of their data, all of their production. And they are, I think, a company that has about 30,000 agents. So combined, it's at about 180,000 agents worldwide, and in every country. And so now they're basically overnight the second largest, brokerage in the world. I think the first one is Compass. So you guys heard about, the Compass acquisition. They acquired the Anywhere brands, all the C21s, Better Homes and Gardens, Sotheby's, Coldwell, all of those companies. They're actually the largest. But now, with this acquisition, we're the second largest in the world. So with that said, I'm sure you guys have noticed, the one thing that RE/MAX has been very good, obviously, about a lot of things, or else they wouldn't have, be where they're at.
There's seats over there.
But yeah, come sit over here. Come join us. Come join us. And then if we need more chairs,
Yeah.
we can bring more chairs. They have done very well at taking a certain portion of the monthly fee, that agents pay, which is the $288 a month, $101 of that has been appropriated and given to an ad fund that in turn, they branded RE/MAX like Coca-Cola, Pepsi. It's just, people see that balloon and they're like real estate. So, for so many years, they've done such a good job, in all of the branding and getting RE/MAX out there. So with this merger, I have people calling me oh my gosh, the sky's falling and, we're all doomed, it's just another crazy doomsday or whatever. And I think it's fabulous. I think it's the best thing that could have happened to RE/MAX. RE/MAX is a model that it's a beautiful model. However, for a broker owner, it is a very difficult model to navigate. And and there's a reason why I'm telling you all of this, because obviously I'm sharing real brokerage information, which is the people that, acquired RE/MAX. It's a difficult model for us broker owners to navigate, which is why you see either broker owners do really well at it or they don't do that great at it at all. Because, it takes capital, you have to have, quite a bit of funds, money, reserves. Because every single agent that is, on the Department of Real Estate roster, I have to write a check out every month for $288, whether or not that agent produces. And so you multiply that by a couple hundred agents, and I'm writing checks well, not checks, we're doing online wires of $50,000, a month to RE/MAX, and that's whether or not, our agents are closing. So if an agent doesn't close, for months or whatever, you could see quickly how that can become a deficit. So my whole point in saying that is the model for a long time, it could be great for producing agents, but it's not super great. Like, let's say if an agent is not producing, they're going to get cut from the system because one of two things are going to happen. Either they have to pay the bill every month for themselves because the broker is not making anything, or they're not going to be able to or want to pay that. So obviously they're not going to be a part of that system. So that's been kind of like the predicament, that us brokers have had with the model. Luckily, our office, I think that you guys saw a post that Justin put out where we were like, I think number 4 in California, for RE/MAXs. And that's including like RE/MAX Gold, which they're, on the coast, they have all the beach properties and everything, all the $1 million properties. So, our office is amazing. Like the agents freaking work and we close a lot of deals. So we're really fortunate in that way. Now, with the acquisition, I've been talking to a lot of people at Real Brokerage in the last couple of weeks, and there's going to be a lot more info coming out within about 30 days. I'm going to be offering options. So this is why now I want to start having these conversations with our agents so that they can also start thinking about what it is that, they would possibly like to do. The acquisition isn't going to change the model. So what I was actually hoping, as a broker owner, was that this acquisition would change the fee structure for RE/MAX. And it would make it so that, we would eliminate that monthly fee and the percentage and, work it in some other type of way, but it's not going to happen. Basically, the acquisition is more of exactly what happened with Coldwell Banker, C21, all of the other brands where there's still the brokerage within the system. So Compass, owns all of this, but then C21 is still operating the way that it normally operates. Coldwell Banker is operating the way it normally operates. So with this Real RE/MAX, now that's the head company. You're going to have underneath Real RE/MAX Group is going to be RE/MAX operating as a brokerage with, all of its agents in various locations, and Real Broker under that same umbrella, but they each have independent and different models. And the thing that is going to be shareable, and the reason why this acquisition is going to work so well, is because that technology that Real has is going to be incorporated into the system for RE/MAX. So I guarantee, within right after the acquisition takes place, I guarantee they're going to lay off staff for RE/MAX around the world, and automatically probably just eliminate tons of debt, tons of overhead, tons of people that are actually staffing our RE/MAX staff right now. And which, is probably a good thing. I do, love tech. I think it's the future, but, I think that with the way I see things coming together and the people that I've talked to, that's kind of the strategy, that they have. And that's why this acquisition is gonna work, because Remax had a lot of debt that they took on. So with that said, you know, in talking to people, for me and for what we wanna offer, you know, at Champions, and what I've always wanted to do with and for the agents is obviously offer everything that I possibly can, you know, like offer the best of maybe both worlds, options. You know, I think that people like options. I think that not every model is fit for every agent. You know, I think that, for instance, everyone knows we have Champions Real Estate, which has taken off tremendously, you know, because a lot of agents, they don't want to pay 2% off the top. They don't want to pay, you know, monthly fees and annual fees. They just don't want they don't want or need the brand. And so they are, you know, they brand themselves and they utilize the Champions Real Estate platform. A lot of, you know, flippers on there, you know, people that just have no interest in having a brand. With Remax, I think, you know, obviously it's an amazing brand. You have the balloon, you walk around, everybody knows who you are. You know, like they know, wow, this is a company that's been around forever. They sell a lot of real estate. They're professional. These agents are like in it to win it, you know. Real is same thing as, there's a few of them out there right now. EXP, you all, I'm sure have heard of EXP, Real. I think Realty of America just kind of popped up. However, I don't think they're publicly traded yet. I think it's just Real and EXP. And the people at Real don't like it. I found out very quickly when I call it the pyramid model. They're like, it's not a pyramid, Jennifer. I said, well, it certainly feels that way to me, but okay, you know.
They brand it in the new age, I think.
Right, like
we know.
they kind of like twist it a little bit
Because it has a
or
negative
something.
stigma behind
Yeah,
it.
like it has that negative.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like,
Right, like
this
it has like a,
Well, Jennifer,
Like Mary
it's
Kay.
not a pyramid because the difference between Real and EXP is EXP, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. EXP, if you have a team and you're bringing agents in, you make money off your agents you're bringing in, right? So that's where it's a pyramid. with
Real's the
EXP.
same.
So Real's the same?
Yeah.
Keller Williams, isn't it Keller Williams?
So Keller Williams is different. Keller Williams, the difference with that is
Oh, that's not true.
that you get profit share off of net profit. So you have like a market center, and then, you know, basically they have all of their costs. You know, they can charge, who knows, 10,000 for a table for the month, right? So they've got all their costs, and then you're gonna get profit share off of net income. Now, with the Real and EXP model, you're receiving profit share off of gross income. So like for instance, and I don't want to call it a pyramid, however, however, see, this is the difference in what they've done. This is the way to think about it, okay? You know how Remax spent like 50 years taking that money, that $101, right? They took that money and they put it into an ad fund to brand Remax around the world. Like they put out, you know, everything on media, like you name it, Remax is out there. They spent that money to put Remax out there. These companies, EXP and Real, they're not spending a dime on marketing, like not one dime.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're getting agents to recruit for them. So instead of spending money on, you know, recruiting, putting the brand out there and any type of, you know, news media, like whatever it is, it's zero allocated to that, but they're getting all of their agents to recruit people for them. And that's how it's growing. Now,
They also changed that term. It's called sponsoring.
they
They changed recruiting. They changed it to
to
sponsoring.
sponsoring, yes.
But
So,
may I ask a question?
Of course.
So with that said, is Remax still gonna advertise? So we're still gonna pay the $288.
yes.
So is Remax like international still there? Is that, so if we're still having to pay the monthly fee and that $100 comes out, I wanna make sure they're not stopping their advertising.
There
right?
could, yeah, it's
So,
all
okay, it
continuing.
just stays, so they're not gonna be pulling that, okay.
No, it's literally like business as usual.
Okay.
The only thing that they're gonna change is the tech platforms. Like, you know how right now
Right,
you go on and you can log into your
Right.
Mac Center. It's all gonna be changed.
so
They
we should
have
still
like,
see commercials, we should still
You're
see
gonna still
all of
see
the branding,
all of it.
marketing still going out. I have a feeling that's gonna pull back for some reason, because they're with Real.
You know, kind of like agree with you too, because I mean, I think it's too early for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I got people working at Rio right now, like he said he's on Jose Garcia and Lee Cardenas, and the model is almost like ESP. That's what we were saying.
it's like the same.
Actually, I got a copy of the contract here, reading like the contract that they have, and they call it like, how do you say the word? Yes,
Sponsor?
Sponsor, that's what they call it.
But I just feel like, why would Remat, they're with Real, so they're just gonna now lean on Real, I think, and why would they be advertising so much now? Because it's, you know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of power
Well,
in,
they-
okay.
in the Remax agents. They're the ones that have the production.
Right, so,
you know.
okay, good, and as long as we
Yeah,
keep,
like, there's a
but
lot
what
of
I
power.
see is, are people gonna start going to Real, right? Because
Well-
Remax will start losing
This
production.
is exactly why, as a broker, like for me,
Mhm.
I only find it fair because we're being told like, it's good to let everybody know of every model.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, and here's the thing, is each model is gonna be set for a particular type of agent, because I can tell you right now, if you're not somebody that's a recruiter, like if you're not gonna recruit and become a recruiter, then Real is not gonna really make sense.
Right,
It's just not. I mean, they're taking, 15% until you cap. It's a $12,000 cap at 15%. And I think a $30 fee, after that, after you cap.
Mhm.
So if you're not gonna like build a downline and say, okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna, recruit all of these agents, then it may not make sense. Now, let's just say, if you're an agent that decides, well, I don't really need, the Remax brand. I don't mind, paying like a $12,000 cap, and then, I wanna be on Real's technology and be a Real agent. And if I do get an agent that maybe wants to join, I'll put them on my downline, that's a possibility. So I don't feel like every model is, for everybody. I feel like each person has to kind of evaluate their business and say, okay, you know what? I love Remax, I like the brand, I wanna stay, with the traditional model.
Mhm.
Or you know what, maybe I will build a downline, maybe I will recruit agents. I don't really mind, the cap. And I wanna just go for it and see if I can, recruit some people and do it in that way.
You just mentioned that maybe they want to go for the technology. We are going to, as Remax agents, have access to all.
Access to the
Okay,
technology, yeah.
So I wouldn't move to Real just to get their technology.
No,
I'm gonna
that
have-
that was the reason for,
Right,
according
exactly,
to what
okay.
the Real people, because I've been talking to both sides. And,
Not
they're
like I'm gonna
telling me
use it,
it's,
probably. I have so much at my fingertips already. How
I
much
know,
am I gonna
and
get?
it's a matter of
I'm
what
just
people
overwhelmed.
utilize as well.
Right.
It really is a matter.
The thing is that, like, we've been in room for a long time.
Right.
Like everyone, you can see how many websites, kind of like the main Primus website, it links to the rest of the website.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like if we move, I don't want to see a mess, like the people in Remax and you girls go after them, no, but like Remax go after them, because they had to remove the advertise from there. And I got agent that forgot the passwords, for Lincoln,
Oh.
Zillow and all this stuff, and I got a bunch of websites, if I decide to go and move,
I know,
what's
that's
gonna
part of me
happen?
saying is, I
Yeah,
don't wanna go
yeah.
through the rebranding.
Well,
I-
because think about it, like Remax, if an agent isn't paying for the fee,
Mhm.
then why would they allow the agent to brand Remax if they're
Exactly.
not, paying for it? I
Totally,
mean,
you're right.
so then they're gonna be like, well, remove all your stuff, because if not, then everybody would just
Not fair to
use the
us.
brand
As
and
if there's
not
not
pay.
people who are
It's not
paying,
fair.
it's like,
It's not even
yeah.
fair for the ones,
Right.
So what's gonna happen if I decide to go ahead and move to Real, and I got the websites, the Real websites, that I have to go ahead and cancel those websites?
No, well, you just change them over, like you just brand it as Real. And a lot of the other items, they'll auto-populate in time. It just takes time, like the ones that you don't have access to that auto-populate, they auto-populate.
So then I'm gonna be
But-
telling me, hey, you have to remove the Remax.
No, now, because, the acquisition, they've left us alone. I mean, Real owns Remax. So now it's like kind of a whole different ballgame. You know, and I think that for this brochure, I've done a lot of, I've tried to simplify this so that I could explain the real model so that at least you guys know what it is. I mean, I feel like everybody should at least know what it is so that, you know, in a month, if you're like, maybe I'll try it out, then you could try it out. You know, at least you have your research and the data to kind of take a look at it. And it's a cloud brokerage, obviously, just like EXP, but, you know, focused on technology. You know, however, I feel like there's only, I think, so much tech that any of us are gonna use, right? But it is focused on, you know, technology. It's a tier system. So basically, they do deal in sponsors. And let's say you go onto the Real platform, and let's use Javier as a sample, like the Sanchez group. Let's just say, you know, Javier as a team lead decides, I'm gonna go Real. He as a team lead will be paying a $12,000 cap, and he'll pay a 15% split until he hits that $12,000 cap. Now, every agent that he brings on under him, let's just say agent number 1, okay? That agent under him, he will be receiving a maximum per year of $4,000. It's 4,000, right? Not 5,000.
From that agent?
4,000. So
From that
from the agent, because it's 5%.
Mhm.
So from the agent that he sponsors, he's gonna receive a max for the year of $4,000. And then if you take a look at the sheet that I gave you
But
on,
only if that
Agent
person
produces.
now,
Yeah,
produced
that
those-
person has to work.
Right, so now he's gonna be stressed out.
That's the
This,
problem.
this is
Gonna
a
be bitching at the team.
very, very good point, Sonia. This person, in order to get the 4,000,
Right.
that is a capping agent, which generally means that agent is making about $75,000 a year.
Right.
So this is talking about capping agents that you bring on that don't do hardly anything, then you're not going to get paid hardly anything.
Can't be
So in this particular sample, each tier that you go down, you could see like tier 2 is at 4%, 3 is at 3, 2, and 1. And what happens, the idea with this model is that on tier number 2, let's say you bring an agent in,
The first page deal.
like the concept is, I just printed out like additional info for you guys to read.
Oh, yeah, so
The concept with this is that your level 2 will start recruiting people and bringing them in. Your level 3 will start recruiting people and bringing them in. And then pretty soon you have people that are recruiting and you're building like these branches.
Look like a tree.
Yes.
Or we call it an old age pyramid.
Like yes.
Or the top
Yes.
is more than the rest.
Yes, because it is like the one, you know, at the top is obviously,
And that person that's recruiting on the top, so that means that they have a team, so that person also is, I don't wanna say responsible, but then all the people that they recruit goes to that, say I recruit people. I'm gonna be getting calls every day, I'm gonna be trying
Yes.
to answer those questions, and they're gonna come to me.
yes.
And if I don't
you're the
answer my phone,
sponsor.
then they're gonna be pissed off, and then the whole thing falls apart.
Yes,
It alleviates a lot of the help.
So this is just for the real thing, right?
Because basically
Yes.
what they're supposed to do is call, like, it's supposed to be. Yeah, everyone's supposed to do their own thing, but if I recruit, that is not human nature. If I say, hey, come with me, I wanna recruit you, sponsor you, they're gonna rely on that person for everything, where I would say, no, everything's online, just go do it. Well,
well,
that's
you're,
not gonna
yeah,
happen.
because you're the sponsor.
Of course,
But, you know, on the
Yeah.
flip side, what they're banking on is they're banking on, let's say you're bringing people in and that the agents that you bring in actually like the platform.
right,
So you know what, they're gonna stay regardless of Sonia or not.
right,
You know, they're gonna make it work, they're gonna stay, they'll maybe reach out to, you know, somebody else. And so it continues to grow.
Mm.
You know, they're banking on the fact that agents they're not gonna like a whole lot of change or jumping around. or anything like that.
Right.
And so in reality, like it's the option for, and the way that I look at it, it's kind of the option for the agent that maybe wants simplicity, doesn't really need, much of a brand. It's, high tech, obviously, they're all about technology. And they want to be out there recruiting agents and putting them on their downline. And then, hoping that the agents that they're recruiting are going to recruit more agents and then continue to grow, those branches of revenue. And then eventually you get like so many people, and then obviously you're having recurring monthly revenue that is coming in from all of these agents' production. So, that's like the vision and the way that the model is like works is, it goes down the 5 tiers, and then your direct sponsors, you have to sponsor like at least 5 people on your level 1 in order to unlock your level 2. Like if you see this here, to
It's
unlock
just like
your,
makeup, shampoo, everything. It's the same concept. I've done all this. I've tried. I've failed at it.
It's like,
She's like, "Oh, I don't wanna do that."
Isn't it?
Starts to like motivate
I
or
got
something.
a question here.
Okay. I wish them the best.
My question is kind of like, compared with the remote model in real, and you know what I'm gonna be saying right now. I run a team, and the team is not producing. And of course, the same way you pay, I have to pay for them, because I'm in charge of the team. And I just land with the bill that I have to go there and pay. Compare it with real, if my agents they don't produce, that I have to pay anything out of my pocket.
so that is a good reason to actually move to real, is if you have a non-producing team.
Right.
So if you have a non-producing team, agents that are not closing very many deals, then you can literally put anybody on here.
Okay.
Like you can have agents that are doing 0 transactions on here, and it's not gonna affect your bottom line. So, like if Javier is here at Real, and then you move 10 team members over that do nothing, then it costs you nothing. This is a completely production-based model.
But then he's
But
getting
he's
that
gotta pay
split.
the
He's losing.
But
15,000.
then if he has an agent that, yes, has
15,000
high-end
cap or whatever it
properties,
is.
Well,
is he gonna want 20,000 or 4,000?
Well, he'll always pay the cap, like
Yeah,
regardless as a
12,000.
team, everybody always pays the cap. His team members, if they go under his team, will pay half of that cap.
Oh, that's.
But he will end up paying his $12,000 cap, regardless of whether you have, 1 person on your team or 100 people on your team.
It might work out like I don't wanna get a bill.
Right, it
Because
might work out that you're
Because,
not paying
we
more.
already know
Yeah.
kinds of different right now. I got agent produce like a 1 to 3 deals
Then
a
you get
year, And by the end of the year, I get a bill for like, when I go upstairs, that's what it is. If I wanna be moving to real,
You could bring 100
and
non-producing
I'm not gonna get,
agents.
I'm not gonna get a bill.
Or
And you
charge
won't
your
get a
team, why
bill.
are you charging your team the 288?
Because, somebody had to, I understand Jennifer's position, because if I don't pay, she had to pay the money.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
in the
for you.
Remax.
That's in
so
the Remax,
not in
yeah.
the-
Plus
She's saying, why aren't your members?
Yeah, but then kind of like, and I understand, I didn't like it, it was a big bill.
I kept telling you.
Wouldn't you
for
go to Champions
I got
though
mine under,
first?
I got my people under.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But-
You have an option
but
to
you
make
know-
more than the.
You know what
max.
happened, it's kind of like, I spoiled Latino this year, I wasn't comparing to them, because there was a lot of coming in. And it didn't hurt at all. But then the market started changing, and I got a slam with the bill, and I said, you know what, well,
It's not worth it.
not worth it. And she goes, I'm not gonna be paying this much money, and I'm like, you think, I go, all right.
But Carlos, wouldn't you consider
Carlos.
Champions?
I'm gonna call him Carlos from now on.
Yes,
Carlos.
yes, Maria, yes, Maria.
Go ahead, Maria.
Wouldn't you consider Champions, moving to Champions, Jeff, and before you would go to Real, or no? Because if anything had changed, I was just hopping right over to Jeff.
At this point, what happened, with some agents, they got spoiled, all this time, rematch and advertising and all that, and going through this simplification with the rematch, advertise. They say, you know what, we're not just gonna change it over to Champions. except like one or two they change. I
Because
got
they
three
want the
there.
rematch, but they don't wanna pay the.
Well, they're not producing, so what the hell, then what do they
You know,
do?
they wanna, they
How do you
wanna,
like
they
the
One
UNT?
listing a
wanna
year.
do some car, but they wanna pay for the gas,
Yeah.
not the problem.
I know,
You
yeah.
know, that's the thing.
So it's a matter of you wanting to scale down on your team, or?
I did,
you just-
because that's why I say no, you know, like, before I say, okay, come over to my team, don't worry, I'll pay those dues and all this stuff. But now I'm gonna be in peaking,
Yeah,
you know.
because I mean, I would see that most of your agents would probably want champions before real, if they're not gonna recruit.
So it depends on, oh, go ahead. I know
I'm
you have your
sorry,
hand
go
raised.
on.
I'm so sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
I was wondering, how's the logos gonna be look like? Or do we need to change our advertising?
Same logos.
So instead of Remax, is it Real Max? I saw.
No, that's people.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's people. That's
AI
that's
having fun.
online people that are just like having fun with the logo. But the actual parent company name is Real Remax Group. But we're not gonna, so underneath, it's kind of like the corporate name. Underneath that corporate name is gonna be Remax and then Real. So they're still gonna both brand independently.
Okay, so all our signs.
All
our
the
business
signs,
card, we don't need to
logos,
change.
everything. I had just ordered brand new signs for the Mountain Avenue building. $30,000 is what signs cost, and I was like pressing the button, and they announced a day later
Yeah.
that the acquisition took place, and that was my first question. My first call was, I just ordered signs, is the logo changing? And they said, no, it's definitely gonna stay the same, just like the other acquisition that took place. So it'll be like
So
real
they're
branding.
not separate entities, separate
Yes.
owners, separate buildings, so you're not gonna see Real at Remax.
It's kind of almost like the hotels in Vegas, like
But
your
she can-
Excalibur,
she can
your
purchase a
Bay,
real-
they're all under MGM, but
And
they all
right.
have their own name.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
That's-
So
that's-
no change in.
She's right, she's right, it's an agent, like, how about after decide to change to Real, and you got a Remax sign, how are you gonna do it, like, you don't put like,
I'm gonna stamp a
Both,
real
right?
sign
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah,
okay.
it's just not combined, but you can have both
What do you mean,
signs.
how?
I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like.
It's like you're not gonna buy me, they see Remax, they don't see Real.
So you are
I'll just add a logo.
No.
That's what I wondered too, so if you are Remax and you're paying, are you allowed to use Real as well? Like, I understand Real not being allowed to use Remax because they're not paying, but I wondered.
No, you cannot. You have
You have to
it's
choose
one,
one or the
yeah,
other.
they're different
Separate
models. They're different models, and look, you guys, like, here's the thing, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I feel like this is the right thing to do. I feel like, everybody does need to be educated on what just happened, like, the reality is that Real just purchased Remax. And I'm all about choice and options, which is why obviously we have Champions Real Estate. Because I feel like there's not one particular model that's always gonna fit every single agent, which is why, there's so many different models and structures out there. Now, the beauty of it, and that's the reason why we label ourselves Champions Community, because we're a community of options, really. Like, we have a different, set of options for different agents. So now, instead of just having Champions Real Estate and Remax, well, now we have the Real model. And so you guys need to know about it because it's an option, it is an option that's out there for you. You can investigate, you can take a look at it. I think the question is, if I was a team leader, what I would probably do is look at the profit, on Real brokerage and see how much do I really want to recruit? Like, am I a recruiter? Am I an influencer? Am I a recruiter? Are people going to be joining my downline organization? Because that's what it takes. You have to become a recruiter and an influencer because people are going to be like, why should I join your downline when there's another Real downline and this guy is, offering all these things, so you have to decide, like, do I like this model? It's there, it's available, it's readily available to everybody, but what makes better sense for you in your business? As a recruiter, I think that, like, if you are a recruiter and you're building a team, then you do like the P&Ls, because we have team structures here where, in all honesty, I don't know and I don't have the answer for what would be best for a team lead, because right now, the team leads, they're making basically all of the revenue and income. You know, we've got profit share, they've got all their revenue and income, and they get it right away. So they may make, on deal number one, they might make $4,000 versus 1 year of the agent's production at $4,000, you know, like, and it's the truth. Like, think, you know, like an agent like Jing Chen, she runs a team out in West Covina. And she has, you know, an agent that gets one listing and she's making her percentage, and she's probably made 4,000 on one deal versus 4,000 for the entire year on that agent. So you really, like, a person really has to take a look, you know, at the income and the revenue and decide like what is best for what I'm doing and what is best for me.
You left me that part because, I mean, of course, running a team, you know, you already know that, you know, to run a team, you have to win 100%. To win 100%, you have to produce. So if I go to real, so they're gonna be taking part of their commission, last might, whatever part I take to the agent. So that commission, you know, for the agent is gonna give more, you know.
And they're not.
Yeah, they're not gonna like it.
No, they're not, well, they may not, you know, that's the reality, because if you're a team lead and you're recruiting an agent to Real's gonna take 15%. And if you're gonna form a team, you could tell Real on the onboarding, you could say, you know what, I'm gonna charge this agent an additional 10% to be on the Javier Sanchez group. So now you've got an agent that's paying 25%, you know, on their transaction, you know, versus paying whatever flat fee to like the parent company, and then paying you, you know, the amount of money that you're gonna get as a team lead. So it does add extra money onto either the team lead, like somebody's gonna pay more money, and it's either the team lead or the agent. It's one or the other that's gonna pay. But the vision here, like you have to dive with me into the vision, Javier.
Expand and grow.
The vision is the fact that you're gonna be getting a lot of agents. Like if you do this model, like you gotta be in it to win it, and you're gonna have to get like we're talking hundreds of agents under you.
Ugh.
You see what I mean? Like you're gonna build that tree like that. And there's agents out there though, like think about it. They're selling, and I see what's happening, and it's a very valid model because they're selling a good dream, you know, because you can be a real estate agent, dive into this model, like do nothing but recruit, and you can have like an office, so to speak, without having, you know, liability, overhead, staffing, insurances,
Monthly and
audits,
annual,
monthly
and annual
fees,
agreements.
yeah,
You don't have
fees.
to worry about that.
So it's like, I can see, you know, like if it works, it's gonna work great, but it's gonna take somebody, you know, that's just like recruiting, bringing people in and recruiting. Like,
So
That's
the
another
model,
job.
which is, it is a job.
Nightmare.
And people think it's easier than it is, which is why at EXP, only 0.5% of people at EXP are making a decent living on their downline.
right,
That's the stats. Like you Google it and you ask like how many agents are actually making a living and living off of their downline at EXP Realty, and the answer comes up as like 0.5%.
so the model, they wouldn't have joined RE/MAX if, I mean, that's like, they needed RE/MAX. So I feel, I mean, I hope it works, and it's working obviously for some, but it's only at the top. I feel like if, like going in right now, if that's gonna be a hard call.
This is actually better, like going in right now at Real is better than going in at EXP, you're 10 years too late to the game.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
done, you know, there's like, you've already got, and I know because it's funny, I know because we service so many EXP offices for escrows and loans. And every team lead that I encounter there is like, oh my God, like I wish I could actually just leave and be an independent brokerage because EXP is like taking all my splits, you know, like so it's a little late, but with Real, I think they're only about 25,000, 30,000 agents in versus EXP, you're at like 85,000 agents.
They're doing so well, why did they have to merge?
Well, Remax wanted to sell.
No, Remax needed to sell.
Okay, so it was brought on by Remax?
Well, think about this. Think about the situation that happened. Remax, which huge company worldwide and most productive agents in the world by far. 100 and how many thousand? 180,000 or 150,000, something like that. You know,
We have 150, they
We-
have 30.
they have 30, but think about that concept. A company with 30,000 agents just purchased Remax. They
And
think
they're an
about that.
online company.
They're an, yes,
They
they're a
have
town
more
brokerage,
tools than we do.
And less
We're getting
overhead.
but they had tons of less debt. So think about like the gravity of that. How a company like Remax that's been around for 50 years just got acquired by a little tech brokerage that only has 30,000 agents.
And expanded overnight.
And that
Worldwide.
little tech company that only had those 30,000 agents, overnight, they became the second most powerful real estate organization in the world. So that shows you like Remax, Dave Liniger, did you see the video they put out? Dave and Gail Liniger, it was time because, you know, they needed to retire their 80
Wasn't a good
years.
show.
Yeah, like he was, last time we went to the convention, he was literally in a wheelchair.
He didn't have a kid, so that's what.
Yeah, they put a, you know, they said, it's time for us to sell. You know, we've done, it's 50 years in, it's time for us to sell. But we made sure that we sold to people that were going to keep the Remax brand because that is our legacy.
Perfect.
So like that was, you know, one of the conditions of the sale. But when you think about that, a company that's this tiny that purchased this, you know, like that's what's going on out there. It's crazy when you think about it.
Before we would, I mean, I don't know if they wanna do it or not, like, kind of like, we can hear like, yeah, they're super tech with like websites and, you know, super this and that. And I know we got the Remax website. Not too many agents for Remax, and you know, Justin, they jump in the system for Remax to use it. You know, I use it, you know, find agents out of state, you know, pick the agent and then get my split from there when I refer somebody. So now, are we gonna be able to go ahead and compare what they have and what we have right now with Remax? So you know what, I prefer to go ahead and stay with Remax. Well, you know what, it makes sense to change over. So
Well,
we
the
can-
tech is changing though. They're gonna use the real tech at Remax.
So the websites for
Get their
Remax are.
tools
Yes,
also
we
changed.
All our
are
tech.
gonna be getting their tech.
So we don't have to pay, if we stay with Remax, we don't have to pay for the real website.
No,
Okay, okay.
it's all gonna
Okay.
stay, but it's needed, like, I'll give you an example, because, you know, since Champions Real Estate's growing and it's taking off, my brother, you know, he's super high tech, you know, Jeff is like the tech guy.
Yeah.
And Jeff recently got a CRM platform for Champions Real Estate that it blows Remax's away. I mean, so now Champions Real Estate, their tech, like what he's got going on
Better than ours.
is like, it's like night and day, you know? So that's kind of an example of what, like the platform at Remax, kind of what needs to be done. And I think that's what Real is gonna come in and do as a whole. But it's not gonna change our main system and platform at Real. James, you look like you're tired and falling asleep. We all watch you. You're out all night long. I'm gonna call you out on that. What is going on?
I'm listening and thinking.
We're gonna get a bell. Every time he's nodding off, I'm gonna ring the bell.
So there's no charge, so our stuff is just gonna get more enhanced and better without
Yes.
charge. So we are allowed, now that's whole thing, is part of it is that now we get to benefit from all this new technology.
Yes.
And it's
basically
just-
For free, besides the 288.
For free, AKA the 288.
Right.
Well, I almost
You're
like
getting
a
more
lot
for
of
what
it
you were
too,
paying.
like how EXP is at what it is, but now you've got the people that are wanting to leave. So I almost feel like the same thing with the Compass brand, the same thing with this. I feel like Real was a little bit smarter in the fact that you don't know 20 or 30 years from now where it's gonna be, but now at least they still have the stability of something that has been around a long time with Remax.
Right.
In case the same thing starts to happen with Real that's happening with EXP, and people wanting to leave, and that's why the stocks went down and not seeing that. So I think they kind of were smart to say, okay, this is here and now, this is what's going on, we have to do the times. But then
Well, they have the
take it
best of
back up
both
still,
worlds.
Yeah.
So what they did with
Sounds
that
like-
merger is, yeah, they have options, they have the best of both worlds. And so I think that that'll make them stronger as a company long-term. And, it's a smart thing to do, really, on behalf of, I think, both companies.
The way you could look at how it is that Real is like Toyota and Remax is Toyota's Lexus, the luxury
What about
brand.
champion, what about
So
champion
we're-
real estate?
We're next.
It's like a Toyota Camry.
But that's how you can compare them. We're Lexus, luxury brand, Real.
That's the
It's
SUV.
That's
That's a hybrid model.
It's carrying all of it, they
No,
got everything.
we're the luxury brand. We're the top of the line for Toyota, which is.
Champion real estate?
No,
Remax.
What about Champion Real Estate?
Toyota is like
SUV
Real
Ultra-Rate.
and Remax is like
We got that, but
Lexus.
what about
What about
champion?
Champion?
We're only talking about Real.
We're talking about-
With Ashley, that was the best example, like.
That's Jennifer's company.
All those hotels are owned by MGM, but yet we all
They
have
have their own
different
name,
ones.
their
We don't
own thing,
even-
they specialize.
I had no idea those other hotels were owned by one person, one.
That was a big win for
That was a-
that's what's happening.
Oh,
I'm trying, that's all, I'm like, do we have this?
Yeah.
They are all different, but
Yeah.
yet it is.
Absolutely.
Does anybody, you guys have questions about that, comments, thoughts?
But, yeah, I have a question. Are you gonna buy into Real? Are you gonna try to do your own company with Real?
Well, but there's no buying into anything,
Oh,
it just
are
part of
exists,
they not,
part of
are
it.
they not a franchise either?
No, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
out,
There's
yeah,
no
we have that to offer,
Cause
there's
they're
no
just
buying
an
anything.
online, yeah.
How much was the acquisition? Does anybody know?
$880
million.
No.
$880
million.
For
Oh,
sure?
that's,
Was
yes.
it? Okay.
She's like,
Oh, wait, so now you don't have to pay your
I remember
franchise
I-
fees?
Yeah,
No,
for
we don't.
Remax,
Yeah.
Oh, you still do?
All
Okay,
that,
so
yeah,
literally
it's the
nothing's changing, okay. Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
you still got to, you still got like 2 years to Remax Corporation, so you still have to pay extra money right now to get into Real.
No, there's nothing, it's just additional.
Okay, you don't have to buy the corporation, you don't have to buy anything.
No.
So when your franchise contract ends, you have to renew it,
Mhm.
so.
It's like literally
Yeah.
like Coldwell Banker
Okay.
or
It's
C21
just an
would do.
addition, you just got more.
It's just another lane, another avenue that we have.
I just got a question, this is a very important meeting, and I don't, of course, I'm here because me, but what's the rest of the office right here? We got over 100 agents in that. We only got like, not even 10%.
That's why it's.
That's why
You
we're
get an email.
recording it. I mean, we
They
even
can
got-
watch this, they can.
Yeah, we have people even in Central California that hopefully listen to this, but I'll have to approach people in groups or, independently.
Yeah, this is really
In
good. I'm
Arizona,
surprised-
Texas,
I'm
very
surprised no one-
informative.
Yeah, we should have people.
I don't think our fellow agents knew you were gonna talk about real estate.
No, and I'm gonna talk about
Yeah, we
it
didn't
more,
We
like,
don't know about like,
what,
like,
The topics were
what,
totally different.
once, and I felt called to talk about it because I had meetings this last week regarding Real with Remax and Real. And I feel like we're gonna have to talk about it, more than once. There's questions, as things kind of move along. People will wanna probably know more. Even when you go home and you're kind of looking through this, you'll be like, oh, you know what does that mean? Or what's this about? Explain this a little bit more.
Or Jennifer, why don't you just do one video and put it out, so you don't have to keep talking about it?
It's,
I mean, you will, but
Yeah.
one straight, like, okay, got a question, it's right online.
yeah, I think.
Here's a QR code.
It could be, they're gonna be giving us certain material
So it's
as
gonna be
well,
updated, yeah.
so that, I can actually send out the material that was given and they can go through the breakdown and the structure, and the agents can kind of see it and go through it and, see if it's something they would enjoy and like. But it is a, recruitment model. It's, something where if agents want to attract agents and you want to bring them in, and you just pay that 15% until you cap, and then you pay the other fees.
Well,
I have a question.
Whenever he has that smile, he's up to no good.
The good thing is kind of like, we got 3 models. The Remax, the Real, and we got Champion Real Estate.
Yeah.
So I just thinking about that's why I started recruiting from, like a big team, because I don't want to get that with Real.
Yeah, but you have Champions Real Estate as well.
That's.
Yeah.
And
that,
again,
to me, that's the best one.
Yeah. you
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
Real
but
Estate.
I mean, I don't know.
But again, all these years, all all this year was spoiled my,
Much.
You also have your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have your choice.
all this year was spoiled my agents, and I was paying for them, and when I said, you know what, I'm gonna move, you have to go to chapter, no, I don't want that, because there's no way I can advertise Remax, and I go, who's gonna pay for that?
Like Desiree, she's champions,
Yeah.
we do open houses together, and I'm Remax, she's champions, no one cares.
No, and I think it's important,
Yeah.
like agents should, also like something to tell your team members that Champions Real Estate's a great platform. And you just put like the Sanchez Group powered by Champions Real Estate. Agents anyway, they're out there branding themselves. So, most people are looking at the agent branding,
And then
is what they should be looking at, really.
Champion Real Estate powered by Remax?
That you cannot do. That you
Then they
cannot
will.
do.
Powered by Javier from Remax.
Powered by Javier Sanchez.
From
Formerly known. Yeah.
Question, so you're merging with Real, who else is merging with who out there? Like, is Co-Banker merging with anybody else?
Yeah, well, they were, so
Compass, right?
Compass purchased the Anywhere brands. Compass purchased Coldwell Banker, C21, Sotheby's, Better Homes and Gardens. What else is the Anywhere brands? All basically.
Because Anywhere bought all of those years ago, so this all has.
Yes. So basically, all of the Anywhere brands, which is all those companies that I mentioned, are now owned by Compass.
So
They were one that was.
Are they going to be our competitors or?
Are they what?
They're always our competitors.
But they have so many company merged together. We have Real, it's 30,000, but Co-Banker, Compass, and other, when they're combining, they have more.
They're the largest in the world. So
That's
right
right.
now, Compass and the Anywhere brands, they're the largest in the world. And then we're second.
We
And
only
they
have
combine
two.
with other companies, right?
They combine with other companies.
So we wanna take our 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We wanna,
Terry-
we wanna be
Terry-
on 2,
Terry's gonna do that.
and they have
Lori does that
5.
too. In comparison, exactly. So you've got
Yes.
Compass
And they're
number
all
1, and then you've got Real Remax number 2, and then.
Yeah.
gosh knows what else.
Okay,
Yeah.
because, there's a form that I use it for my listing, and I tell them, when I do my listing presentation, I tell them who's number 1, and obviously in the past, Remax was number 1, but.
Well, you need to say that because the thing, like if you look at the chart,
Mhm.
Remax is number 1 in transaction count per agent. There's nobody out there, there's no other company out there that sells more real estate.
Even though, like.
Even-
Compass
even-
combined
no,
all together
like-
is still-
Like per agent transaction count,
Mhm.
no other company or brand sells more real estate than a Remax agent, period.
So you'll
So-
still have that same, I know which one we're talking about, where it has like the
Rows
rows,
and
the columns,
yeah.
and the things across. So since everybody still has their own name and business as usual, you're still gonna have that
Right.
breakdown.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
it's still, like, everything still shows.
Where do you
The
get
way-
that, actually? Where do you get that?
I don't know.
Out of the marketing on the
On the
Remax
Remax,
site?
The versus the industry?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on
On the
your
Remax site.
website.
Going back to like, when you were saying, I'm sorry, I'm not name. Sean, either. It's a win, when you go to a listing presentation and you compete with the companies, like, Cover Banker, even ESP too, Remax. And because, Remax, okay, good. And we got like a percentage winning. So now going to Real, well, they don't advertise, so I was gonna be able to say, you know what? We're like number 20.
This is up and coming.
Or like, we part of Remax,
Well, that's why they bought Remax. That's why they bought Remax.
Yeah.
That's why they bought
like,
Remax.
no, I was saying that because it's like, job brokerage, you decide, like, we go to different presentations, not every day, but kind of like, we go out there, also make offers. So how do we compete, like, okay, no, Real, yeah, we are a new company, we bought Remax.
I think, to be honest and to give you like an honest answer, what I would do is you need to talk about what you can do, as the realtor, like what service are you gonna provide, what are you gonna do?
Brand you.
Brand yourself, like every
Yeah.
agent
Sell
needs to do
yourself.
that.
I've never had an issue.
Like honestly, like regardless of whether
Trust
you're
you.
Real, regardless of whether you're Champion, regardless of whether you're Remax, like the number one thing that I would do, if I was selling real estate, is I would be branding myself. I would be branding myself and saying, you know what, I am an agent, and yes, I'm with RE/MAX Champions, but these are the areas I service. You know, this is the area that I specialize in. I would be like a literal local expert and know everything about that area and say, you know what, I've sold this many homes in the area, I can get you top dollar, this is why, this is my marketing strategy, this is what I'm about, this is how long I've been in the business. You know, so you're gonna go out there and you're gonna sell Javier Sanchez.
Sound like a coach.
That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get out there and sell Javier Sanchez.
You're a sponsor now.
Because you know, I'm your sponsor. I'm your sponsor.
Yeah, we have been the last couple of years.
No, I'm not saying because I mean, I had to be realistic, you know, like, when you go out there, you gotta win, you know.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
It's no.
I'm gonna get you a real hat.
Javier.
Just to go off of that, like the next generation of people that are buying homes are millennials, so they're not gonna worry about the brand, they're gonna care about Javier Sanchez.
Yeah.
Or what they're gonna do for him.
No, like, I wanna take you to a listening presentation where you got a cover banker contract over here, C21, and
That's
ESP.
funny,
If you're gonna close the guy, say, you know what, like, I'm Justin, I wanna go, want you to go to the time over here.
Javier.
But you know what? People are, and let me tell you, the reason that I know that they are is because if you take a look at what's happening in our marketplace, is there's very area specific agents right now, and they belong to even small little boutiques, right? But what they're doing is they're branding themselves and they're getting to know whatever area they're servicing, and they're being, you know, an expert of that area, knowing everything about it, going in saying, I sold this many homes in the area. And once you're selling yourself as an expert and you're putting that out there, I mean, they're hiring Javier Sanchez. You know, they're hiring Jennifer, they're hiring Leo, like they're hiring Shun. You're gonna be the one that they're working with, you know, and dealing with the entire transaction. So I think that's really the thing.
Javier's the baby boomers too, because my niche is right now is baby boomers, and I'm just spending all my time going after seniors right now, because those are those listings, that, you know, that's gonna be a huge market. And I do see a lot of them recognizing RE/MAX, but I also see the younger homeowners and buyers, they don't give a shit.
They don't. Yeah,
It's the older demographic.
Yeah, Generation X, they don't care like that, baby boomers, yes, kind of like them,
Oh,
or
I
like.
got 115.
I think that you have to also have objections to it,
Yeah.
because, you know, I think that going in, I could see it, like, obviously, I've been, you know, RE/MAX for 20-some years, and I'm proud of that balloon. I mean, the agents, they produce, you know, they sell real estate. So if I was going in, like, you have to sort of prepare yourself, like, if you're gonna suddenly go in, you know, with this logo, that, right, I mean, like, realistically, that people don't know.
Well, the fact
Very
that
well.
the L is
It's
backwards.
like, you gotta be prepared for
I
that.
was like, what's wrong with this picture? I can see my older clients.
They can't even.
Is that
The L's backwards, but, you know, like, if you're gonna go into that, you're gonna have to be prepared and ahead of time, you know, like, handle the objections and, you know, be just like anything else, just like any other objection.
Well, and I think it depends too, because obviously we know our industry, we know it. So when you get people that are outside, like I've had people think that, oh, well, you have to pay an agent that's at RE/MAX more because it's better known and you have more protection and it's a corporation, blah, 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 versus I don't know who so-and-so brokerage is, so I'm not gonna trust them because something happens, what goes on, so I can pay them less. So it's like, you gotta think about it if you're not an agent, how people see it too. I think since they did merge, like you are trying to like get agents under there, if that's what you did choose to do, is
Make
push
your
the fact
logo.
that they did do real
Do
RE/MAX.
real max.
Well, let's not think about it.
Real Javier.
That, at least then it's something known
Yeah.
versus not, like, oh, you know what, I
Well,
understand this is
you know,
new, but they invest in RE/MAX because they, yeah.
There's a reason I've been with you all these years, Jennifer, because, I mean, believe me, I believe in you and I believe in RE/MAX.
Thank
That-
you.
that-
Amen.
I think, yeah.
And that's the thing, and believe me, I know a lot of brokers out there, a lot of companies, a lot of big, you know, companies, and I say to Rio because, I mean, I believe in the system. So I don't have nothing against Rio, you know, but I'm gonna respect you guys, but it's kind of like it's like being a new stepmom, you know?
I
Here,
didn't
this is
either.
the stepmom over here. I'm like, what are they gonna do to prevent me to get me? If you ever date somebody with kids, you know, like, you have to go, you have to like work the kids first and then work the baby.
What if you were to charge your team members that 288, and that forces them to get their butts
To work
over?
No, they'll leave.
No.
Well, then let them leave.
Well, again,
They're
You're
not
not using
producing.
anything.
again, like, it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
there's the different times right now, like,
I
everything's changed, like, a full-time agent, they change completely.
Oh, no, it's.
Can you imagine the agent that was going to like 5 transactions a year,
Oh, yeah.
now they go to like 5 like 1.
Let me clarify, I don't want anybody to be like super confused, I feel bad because, the ladies just asked, I don't want anybody to leave confused. Remax Champions moves on, like it's here to stay, it's staying. Remax Champions is here. This is just another highway that is available if agents, this is the stepmother. That is available if agents choose to go this model. It's just like changing over to Champions Real Estate.
But you're with Champions, you two, right? Are you with?
They're Remax.
Oh, you are with them?
Yes,
Oh.
so
Okay,
it's
I
literally,
got a meeting.
no, thank you, Leo.
I'm meeting it right now.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey, you have to sign this.
If it does change,
Can you sign it?
They'll be here in about 30 minutes.
What?
if it
Thank
does
you, guys.
change, then I would think that most
Bye-bye.
people would go to Champions, better than, because if you're not gonna recruit, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
I think we'll be
Yeah.
better.
Under real,
So you're compared to
we had under real.
No,
Nothing
changes.
Nothing changes for anybody as Remax Champions, it's all the same thing, it's all the same, like, just picture it, it's completely staying the same. This is just, this is a new model. Like now we have Remax, we have Real, and then of course, we have our Champions Real Estate. So it's literally, now we have everything. Think about it, which is, it's not a bad thing, because agents have a choice on what avenue and what model they wanna do. Like, say tomorrow you wake up and you say, you know what, all I wanna do is recruit agents for a living. And that's all I'm gonna do for the rest of, the decade or whatever. Then you can just recruit them on here, and then you're gonna hope that they recruit more and more and more, because that's the model.
We have to make sure that
Yes, like,
Well, under
yeah.
there, yeah.
But it's better, if you're a team, you might be better off with Real than Remax, because you don't have to worry about your agents paying the monthly and annual.
There you go.
That's
You
the
don't have,
difference.
you just have to worry about them paying 15%.
that's the thing,
Right, right.
and as a team leader, like, when I write the check, and say, I have to do this, that, and then we're complaining, so kind of I have to be able to open close, and you know what?
Well, shit, I'll go on your team.
She's like, you're paying me.
They know that already.
You're gonna
Again,
pay
I told my
Monday.
agents for too long, kind of like.
No, I know, it's hard.
And it's kind of like, times are different right now.
Yeah, but they're
So,
asking you to use a Remax brand that you're paying for and they're not producing.
I used to,
don't
not
know.
anymore, I changed 3 agents that got it with Champions Real Estate. I'm the only one, and the last guy left, the team like, when you get right, and I pay for that guy,
You know what's amazing to me, when I'm recruiting, is that $288 a month, $288, I talk to agents that are with franchise companies that pay 6, 7, or 8% off the top.
Right.
So that's $600, $700, or $800 at the close of escrow that they pay. But these same agents don't wanna pay $288 a month.
Because they only pay that if they have a closing versus if they have nothing, they
Well,
don't
if
pay
they,
anything.
yeah.
That's what it comes
Well,
from.
Well, they have
That's
to
where,
have
that's where their
more
mentality is.
They have to
Remax
have more
is-
closings for it to matter.
Yes.
You have to look at it in terms, like with Remax, the way that I look at it is, and I think agents should look at it the same, is in reality, there's like a $4,000 fee a year for Remax. Like, and one way or another, it's gonna have to get paid, like whether it's through, and all of you guys know,
All
whether
your
it's through
money, your
services,
yearly-
whether it's through loans, whether it's through contributions, whether it's through splits. But somehow or other, like that has to get paid. But it's not a high fee, which is why I think the structure actually attracts, producing people.
And
That's
this,
why they're the ones that are producing.
and this is not to that, and I'm gonna tell you why, she's gonna tell you I'm right, because we don't fire the old, we don't have to pay like, we must sign or the rest of, we must, innovation, they have to pay another percentage on top of that.
Right, yeah,
You
they
know,
do
we
like
don't,
another.
we don't have to pay that.
Mhm.
If you only been with Remax Champions, you don't know what they're paying over there, they're paying more money. because I mean, the parents.
Oh, the
have some
brokers.
preference.
Yeah,
Years
it was
ago.
like, it's like a grandfather
Yeah,
type
that's what it
franchise.
is. We don't have to pay the extra, I mean, not how much percentage.
I think like a lot of people are doing like a 5,
Yeah.
yeah, 4 and 5.
Yeah,
It's like double.
besides everything else,
It's like
but,
twice.
you know that, right? You know,
So, you know, and I didn't expect to take like, you know, the entire time on this new model, but I hope that, you know, we have clarity. I hope that we're ending in clarity and that you guys can kind of understand that this is not anything that's taking the place of what we already have that is existing. This is an actual third leg and option to now what we have to offer. You know,
I can't wait to see their technology.
Yeah, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah,
seeing.
so like, you know, you're gonna one day log into Max
But then do
Center and
something for.
the technology will be changed, the CRM will probably be changed, you know, those types of things, you know, will probably be enhanced. But we do continue to have all platforms that are, you know, available for agents and for, you know, your business, and whatever is an actual fit is what you should do. You know, there is one thing that I, you know, and I know it's a little bit after 12.
what's for lunch?
There's
over
lunch
there.
over here. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, we have sandwiches. Yeah, there is one thing, you know, I wanted to bring up. I had a meeting with the escrow ladies before this meeting. And this goes for, you know, whether it's like you're listing or whether you're representing a buyer or anytime you have an escrow. When you open escrow, like make it so that the escrow officer, and I'm sure some of you do this, but make it so that the escrow officer knows about your transaction with client. Meaning, you know, if there's an input sheet, maybe fill out the input sheet, or if you're gonna send an email with like opening information, let them know a little bit about your client. It makes it easier because there's situations where, you know, there's divorces that might be going on, or, you know, family situations, or even a death, you know, and so it makes it a little bit more streamlined and less awkward. You know, when sometimes clients get upset, well, you didn't know that, you know, we're getting divorced. I don't want to be carbon copied on the same email, you know, as my soon-to-be ex, and things of that nature. It just makes it so that the officer really can navigate the transaction. And that's what we want to do, is just give, you know, the best service. And then also, you know, at the beginning, to find out as much as you can and notify your clients about like the solar and HOA, you know, info. Like just get really proactive about it. The ladies, obviously they'll help and they're gonna, you know, get it done. But a lot of the time, you know, they don't have access to the MLS. So I think, you know, like a key thing to remember is that a lot of times we might put things, you know, into the MLS and we assume that everybody sees that, but the ladies don't have access to that. So they're only gonna see, you know, the items that are on the contract and then the items that
Oh,
you
we
guys.
should give them a copy of the MLS printout.
Yeah, like that, you know, something to maybe the system
Yeah, so they see everything
at the
too.
beginning, so they can see everything, just anything that's gonna help them navigate. It helps them out, you know, because they wanna do a good job and they wanna be proactive with clients. So.
I have one more question. So do you have a timeline about, I know not exactly about when the new technology will start rolling over?
I believe that in summer is when the deal is finalized.
So June, July.
Yeah, it's gonna happen in the summer. I know that I have another meeting next Friday with Real. But that meeting is more of to, you know, get the systems in place, you know, for maybe agents that wanna go that route.
So I'm updating everything as I told you. I need a new website and CRM and stuff, so I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just gonna wait.
I would wait to see
Yeah,
what
to see
Remax
what
is gonna
that
bring
is.
out.
Yeah.
I would, it's gonna be soon.
So,
I also think that they're gonna integrate whatever Remax website you have now.
Mhm.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
easy transition to the new website or however they're gonna work it. And I
Yeah.
also think it's not gonna be instant. There's still gonna be kinks and things to work out
Sure.
because you have to combine two technology
Yeah.
companies
Well, I still
together,
want
and
my
that takes a
follow-up
very,
I
it
mean,
takes
I
a
don't-
little bit.
I
I
don't wanna
remember
buy
like I
it.
brought about 7 or 8 years ago, Jackie from the Remax. she came
Oh,
over.
yes, yes.
Where they come out with a new, that was back then, there was a new
Oh, yeah,
system,
yeah.
and she did a couple classes.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
and I was so into that, and actually I got like a 4 transaction out of one deal out of the system. It
Oh, on
worked.
the lead gen system.
Yeah,
that's on there,
exactly.
Yeah.
If you follow, and at one point she was using my actually Wima's website when she was giving classes, because I was the only one that kind of like follow everything in there. So I wonder if, once they do like the transition, they're gonna go ahead and train the agents.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
online.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure,
Online.
yeah.
Online, which
Yeah.
Sure.
means it should be a little more user-friendly, being
Yeah.
following your own instructions.
Yeah.
Maybe for
yeah.
50 and younger, but I don't know about me or us.
No, you know what, once that happens, then we also have
Yeah, of course.
Justin and Morgan
Yes.
that are really good with technology.
You know, with
So,
that,
They're gonna be
Remax,
pulling in.
I get a deal or two for referrals. That's one of the reasons I just, it pays for my Remax a year. I mean, there's been years since I've had not a referral. I mean,
You have to set up your profile the
Yeah.
right way.
I mean,
So-
people call me, I
Yeah,
did 2 yet last year. I was over like $30,000 from the website from Remax.
I just got one from the Remaps, he got another from the Remaps website,
Yeah.
transaction in Upland, and there was 707 number, and I was, ooh, this is
Right.
okay. So I let him go into like the voicemail, and it wasn't responding, so I called back, and there was a seller from Florida.
Yeah.
They got an Upland. Yeah, there was somebody from Florida saying his mom's house in Upland.
Yeah.
You
Oh, that
know.
was a buyer. Oh, or a
The
seller.
seller.
Well,
Seller.
I'm talking about agents,
Yeah,
agent
yeah.
to agent.
Yeah,
get
what I
agents.
do is what I say, I wanna move to Denver, so I go on the website and I pick the top
Exactly.
listing agent,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, you look at them and see, okay,
Exactly.
how can I connect with who looks like I
And
can
then you get
trust
that
them, like,
referral
yeah.
fee. Oh, do you know someone? I know everyone around the world. Absolutely, I do.
Yeah, that's a good way to do that. That's a good way to market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who we bond and connect with.
I mean, I think it was true, it would take over for us, kind of like a game used to, and I can feel like a stepmom, kind of like.
That stepmom thing.
You got a stepmom? You got a problem?
I
with
think-
that?
I think a better way, I think a better way to look at it, like, if I could just leave everybody with one thing, is as a company, obviously, we're here to support each and every one of you, in your business with tools and things that you need. If you ever need anything, you always know that the door is open. Approach me, Ashley, Jeff, any of us, and we're always here for you. We're always open to ideas, to, also better things. If anybody has ideas, bring them to me. And I think, leave thinking about it in this way. Don't look at it as something, that was taken away or removed from our company. Champions Community, we offer everything. I mean, with this new acquisition, now we have our independent brokerage, where agents can operate and build teams and do all sorts of various things there. We have Remax, people that love the traditional model, the branding and are just really, really wanting the franchise model. And then now, we have Real, which is, obviously the new models that are coming out where people are building teams and, there's that downline production that is accessible if you work at recruiting. So there's 3 different avenues that are now available to you guys, and it's right here. And, we're here to help and to assist you, on any model that you should choose. So don't look at it as something, that is being changed or removed or anything like that. Look at it as, okay, now we're introducing a 3rd avenue, that we can go ahead and do business.
And what
with.
other brokerage? There's no other brokerage that does
No, I
that.
mean,
I
really,
can't-
really,
No.
I'm thinking that the Remax brokers, they will be obviously with this whole Real merger, but the majority of them, no, they do not have an independent company. And, I'm fortunate where all of I've worked with my brother we worked as a family for 25 years together. And so, he's a smart, intelligent guy.
Did he want to do it? Was it his idea? or
He
were-
loves it,
Oh, wow.
he's, a smart,
mean,
intelligent guy. He has his NMLS license. I told him very clearly, I'm not taking that test.
Oh,
He did it.
wow.
He did it, he passed it first time. Agents at Champions Real Estate, they have the ability to do their loans. So we have agents on Champions Real Estate that have their NMLS license. They're doing their loans, they're doing real estate, they're building teams. So we literally have everything that we can offer to everybody.
And
It's-
escrow and insurance.
I know.
Like,
So, James is here, he's running TFA Champions, he's gonna be doing, as a matter of fact, we were talking, last night. He's gonna be doing, more classes and sessions on how, agents can thrive and benefit from that. And so, we have like a full service office and we're here to support you guys. So don't look at it as something, oh my gosh, things are changing. Look at it as, it's just an addition to the
Just
model.
growing.
It's not about like, one more second, but it's not about like, what you're thinking, like, the day when they announced it, I'm in the group that with like people, like agents from Fremont, out of state, like in Canada, like New York, like all over. And I'm at the group going to the Fremont convention and sitting on the table, the thought-provoking
Oh,
table.
gosh.
And it got like, 5 o'clock in the morning, my phone was blowing up, like, that's when they announced it, they eat this. And I got like, about 5:15 in the morning, I went, this means this much, and it wasn't the group. When they announced it, that's when I said Jennifer, that they kind of like switched over.
You're like,
I mean,
shit, I just spent thousands of dollars on this.
No, and it got me by surprise, and also I got that from, from Remont's time, and we thought we were surprised. Still, I feel the group with these people, and everybody's going to see what's going to happen.
I'm always like, I think he knows me already. I'm not reactive.
So
Like,
chill.
I knew something was gonna happen, I was actually like looking and just, investigating, like, cause I always like to know what is out there. Like, is there something, that is better for our agents? Is there something, that we're not seeing? Is there something more that we can offer? So I had looked at everything already, I already knew all of the models, and when that happened, I thought, okay, well, yay.
But at least this is better than ESP,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can tell you that.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
yeah, because, it's the beginning.
The beginning of that, like,
They
as
don't
long as
believe
they don't
everything
change,
on
we'll see
social
what
media.
happens, so it
No,
can
do
change.
not believe everything on social media. You gotta
No,
really
you
be
can hardly
careful.
believe, the majority of things.
I know,
that
but
unfortunately.
Do not get your facts from social media. You might hear something, but then research.
So, no, you can't, like, it's an illusion. A lot of social media, it's not, it's fake news. it's
And opinions,
illusion,
and they
opinions.
don't really know.
Yeah, they're just putting, their opinions out there, but, I'm always here for you guys, I just, invite you, if you're curious or whatever, this is kind of a summary, of the platform, what we'll be offering, so at least you guys know. At least you guys know what it is that we're doing and what the company has.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yadira the other day told me that she was getting a listing and that those clients were gonna move to Mexico. So I reminded her, don't forget, on the Remax website, you can refer them to an agent in Mexico.
Yes.
And get a referral.
Did you log in and find somebody?
I haven't really looked at the Remax whole.
Do you
website.
need some help with
Kind
it?
of
Because,
overwhelming.
do you want me to have my brother reach out and
Yes.
go through it with you?
Maybe, yes.
Okay, he knows, the whole platform,
Okay,
and then maybe he can like simplify it.
yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, like he'll just find out like what items you actually wanna use from that platform. He can even like import your CRM and do drip campaign, like different
Okay.
things that you might wanna do. I'll
And
have
is
Jeff
it,
get
is it a standard referral, like 5% or?
on,
It's 25 or 25.
25%.
Oh. 25%.
For referring, yeah, like a referral to an agent's generally 25%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And some are taking 15.
Oh, really? You
Yeah.
mean for listings,
Yeah,
right?
The both last ones, because they've been hell transactions, and I came back and said, hey, would you take 15, because this is killing me, and they're like,
That,
When
yeah.
I get a referral, always get like 30%.
I get
Because
20,
because I know
25.
that it's a buyer with money,
Mhm.
so seller
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So in the
But you
30%,
can always
if you don't
renegotiate.
want it, I can go ahead and get somebody else on the website.
Mhm.
So if you got the client, especially in this market right now.
Yeah, you can
You
negotiate.
can negotiate,
Yeah, absolutely.
You already know, I don't send the information, first I send the paperwork, I say,
Yeah.
okay, find it over here,
Yeah.
and I send you that number.
I always say 25, sure, and then last
Well,
year,
I-
it was a
30%, I would say
nightmare,
yes.
and I said, oh my God, she's getting all this money, and I'm like gonna kill myself.
Any
I
referral,
just asked.
any third-party company right now is sharing, like, I get like I'm working with like 3 or 4, and they got a contract between 30 to 35%. That's normal, okay?
They're-
Now, if you work, now if you're working with Zillow, it's completely different, you know that already.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You
You
know?
get
Oh,
the
a very
referral.
quick question on that team thing. So are you, so I got that email, I said yes to accept team. So I went on Zillow, so now are you starting the team?
Yeah, I
So-
got that email.
Did you guys get the email?
Yeah, so now
So-
under your Zillow, I'm your team member.
So here's what happened with Zillow, and
Which is
I'm gonna explain even more now. So I work together with, an office in Rancho. I think you guys know it's an EXP office, and then we do, all their escrows and their loans. He offered and he opened up because he has Zillow Flex. So he offered and he opened up his Zillow Flex platform to all of our agents, Champions and Remax. Now, the whole issue is when it went out, people investigated and the split is very, very low because his model over there and what he does is he actually takes 50% after Zillow takes their 40%. So it's standard for like Zillow offices, Zillow will take their 40% and then there's 60% left and then the broker keeps 30% and then the agent gets 30%. So basically the agent's getting a referral fee. And it kind of sucks when you get, a commission or you got like this $25,000 check come in and then you end up getting, like $5,000 or whatever.
That's expensive.
It's a hard hit. And so what happened, we didn't have a lot of our agents interested in that. They all said, I'm not gonna work for a referral, which I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. I'd rather, farm and work my sphere of influence or whatever. So then what I thought I would do instead, I've never really been, like a huge Zillow person, is just sign up ourselves, so I'm just gonna sign up. I don't need to take anything additional, so I figure, once I get everything set, I'm having the meetings with Zillow, I'm gonna do, the onboarding process, we have the volume, like we have massive volume here already. We have hundreds of agents, so obviously, it's gonna look really good.
Oh.
So accept, the invite when it's sent out to you because you'll be put on the platform. And then, if we could get approval, the way I look at it is I'm never one to, you guys know you work with me to keep all the money. I don't operate like that. I'm grateful that all of you give me services. I get escrows, we get loans, we work together. So I figure if we could get the account ourselves, then we can start pushing leads out to people that want it and then just let them have, the 60%.
Oh, I'm in.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This way,
for sure.
yeah, you're not working for 30%. So that's the process.
And then they become a client, so that first time might be hard, but then.
Yeah, like I'll just keep a regular program, on the splits. It's just that like a lot of brokers, when they get it, they're like, oh, I'm gonna take, like half from here or whatever, but it's not.
How generous, thank you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on. If you guys do get the invite, then.
Accept it,
just
please.
accept it, Because
I did.
it'll go, like your profile will go on there and then we need all of the office production. Because they're gonna look at our office production as a whole, the areas that we service, and then they're gonna put us on the map and then we'll start receiving leads based on that.
Nice.
So that's the strategy.
Jennifer, now are those Zillow Flex gonna be for both Remax and Champions?
Yeah, I'm working on it for both.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Because they can go out to anybody. They can go out to
Is
anybody.
it an email or text or Facebook?
Was it email?
It was an email. I have, Morgan's working on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an email. We'll get you on there on
Morgan's
Zillow.
working on the profile.
It's gonna come out. We're doing it slowly. We're trying to find everybody on there, so it's kind of, you have to add you
Yeah, it's a
personally.
bit of work, because, we have like,
If you don't want to go duration, go just Google on the computer and go like third-party companies paying commission, and you sign up with your profile, features and all that stuff, and you start getting leads too.
yeah.
Like, yeah, refer agents, that's the website. You fill out all the information there.
Preferred agent?
Yeah, it's called preferred agents or
Okay.
real agents, those two websites. You fill out all the information, and then kind of like, it's like everything, like Zillow.
There's also another company,
There's plenty out there, you kind of like Google that in the
But
computer.
you gotta know the good ones though, like the ones that are actually giving, legitimate leads. There's another company that is agent centric. So, basically it's not like the broker, that is qualifying for the leads. And it's called HomeLight. So, every agent can go onto the HomeLight website. Now, they only take agents though, because I was kind of looking at the qualifications. They want agents that are doing like 25, 30 deals a year.
Yeah.
So they want like people that are like, high production.
Yeah.
But then they're, they're sifted through leads. So they're very high quality leads.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's another one to go on. And then Homelight,
Light,
Homelight.
home light.
Yeah, like there's a web, Homelight.
Homelight.com.
Yeah, there's a website, but they'll just ask you to upload your production. So, if you have, I think the minimum is 25 deals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you look at it or was
Yeah.
that Morgan?
Oh, we both did.
Here,
Yeah.
which one did you say?
The preferred agent
Preferred, yeah.
or real agent, kind of like just go on the website, or Google also, like third-party company paying commission. And you can look at it like,
Just apply.
Just
And
apply.
and just make sure you're aware of the time when you're doing something, because some of them, whatever lead they do give you is for 3 years, and it's anything connected to that person for 3 years. they're entitled to. So make sure you.
Yeah, just
Just
read
read
it.
it.
Homelight's not like
No
that.
one's moving anymore.
or the thing is kind of like,
Hi, it's
the
12
thing
years
like,
now.
what is different, I don't know if I'm saying this right or not, like, I know Zillow, I got the seller, close the seller, and the seller's gonna go and buy a house. So that lead, we're gonna have to go and buy, like, Wells and Zillow, we're gonna have to go and pay the same amount of commission for the split to Zillow,
It's on the initial lead, so.
Okay,
for,
not the second lead.
Not on the second lead.
Okay, that's
For
fine.
Zillow, it's the initial lead, but you know what, you guys, like, there's a whole lot of lead sources out there.
Yeah.
All you need to do really, like, because they're agent centric, like, the majority of them are set up for agents. And you just need to go on, apply, upload your production, do your profile, and then.
And also your Google page, you have to have a Google page.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
To say, Jennifer, I know you got Jennifer to thing, they have to be, up to date, because people go out there and Google, like,
Yeah.
yes, like your online presence. needs to
Yeah.
be
like, believe it or not, Sanchez Google more in Google than Javier Sanchez,
Yes.
kinda like, I see you got posts coming in.
Yeah,
from there,
yeah, because you have the lead sources too.
Yes, exactly, that's the
So-
thing, everything has to be combined, like, you start from scratch, you start from Google and this and that, and everything combined. The other day, believe it or not, I got a lead from, ChatGPT. Somebody say like, who is the number one agent in Montclair? Okay,
Oh, because you come up on
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT,
Nice.
and I got it, like, how you got my number from ChatGPT? Like, oh, and my daughter was bringing it to me, and she went like, yeah, you sold so many houses in Montclair, and then, yeah, I'm still there ranking, so they pick my number from there.
No, and what he's saying is really true, like, if I was actively out there selling, I would even hire somebody that is really good with, like internet and online resources, just to make sure that my presence as like an individual or a realtor is like super strong online, Zillow, Google, like you wanna make sure that your presence is solid online.
All those videos that you have, he works on some of my videos and stuff, uploaded in YouTube, and then send those videos up there. And when people will Google your name and say, Javier Sanchez, I got a bunch of videos on there, don't go into my Instagram and Facebook, there's more stuff out there. Google, you can do like a lot of stuff out there, so you have to have your presence out there. 'Cause you don't-
YouTube Shorts,
Yeah,
YouTube.
and that's it, you can Google somebody's name and say, okay, who's this person? And when you have like a list of good things, not bad things,
Mhm.
people say, oh yeah, this is the right.
To simplify all of that is the more stuff you have online, the more you're going to populate on all of these search engines, AI, Google, Yahoo, whatever search engine you're using, you got to put information and content out into the internet world. And that's how they found Javier in ChatGPT.
Yeah, I got the
The more information you're feeding the internet, the more time, that's how it's just simplified that.
The one that went viral, there was a video that I did with Lala, you were in the video too, and I didn't know that video went viral, you got a YouTube.
Which one?
She did something like a podcast with Lala, her office.
Oh.
Yeah, years ago, probably like 2-3 years ago, that one went viral.
I'm
And,
so-
like, so it's out there, people kind of like seen it, and people say, okay, you're the guy from the video, like, which video, kind of like, that's the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the more, the more you need exposure.
So
Yeah.
much to do.
You just got to feed the internet. Feed the
Yeah, you
internet.
gotta feed the internet.
Especially YouTube,
So-
if you got a YouTube account, you upload everything in there, like, when you watch, instead of putting Instagram, you can do it too, put it into YouTube.
Yeah.
That's better, because you can get more leads from YouTube than Instagram, all the things if you spend money on that.
Well, Facebook and Instagram, you're basically just gonna get the people that you have on there.
I just got a listing from Facebook.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that is good.
We have mutual friends, and he last week called and said, how did you find me? He said, you kept coming up as a suggested friend.
Wow.
And I went on and
okay.
he's never on. He's like, yeah, I don't ever post or anything, but he said my picture kept coming up and he has to sell his house and he clicked on me and I was like, I had to call you.
There you go.
Which has never happened before on
That's
Facebook.
wonderful.
So, and I was just like, I'm getting off social media. I don't need this.
Great, I know.
And then,
You
yeah,
have to
so.
be on there though.
You do, I know, yep, yeah, so
Yeah.
that,
But the one thing I did want to say is we get excited when we get leads and stuff. Be careful, because the one that's going around a whole lot right now on listings is an email where it's a person that wants to get on a Zoom call.
oh yeah, I know. I get it all the time, yeah.
And they want you to click the link. So whenever you get that, it's not saying that some might not be
Right.
real. You don't want to discount anybody that
I
could be. Tell them, okay, what's a good number? I'll call you back and do the conference call. Don't ever go to
And
their
land.
great to get excited. Because it was like,
Yeah.
literally, I got hit like 3 times within 2 hours on different listings like that.
Yeah.
But be
And I'm
careful.
like,
And
there's
what
not
happens
right. They get all your
all day,
information.
yeah, it
And
just.
into your phone, into your bank, everything.
Yeah. I got that.
And land, Jennifer, so.
Oh, the land.
A couple weeks ago, it happened to me again.
Yes.
I mean,
The
I was
land
smart enough
scam.
to, so I just played along with him and
People
told him.
trying to sell.
And
land
as soon as
out
I
to
said,
people,
send
pay
your,
off land.
I explained why, I said, I just need a copy of your license, just.
And can we
I
do
had
it
my
in
title research, they said everything is up, everything matches. I mean, I went to title, I went,
Wow, that's
researched
good,
him, my
yeah.
husband did the name search, they had it all connected. And then when I said, send me a copy of your license, it goes to, nope,
Think about it.
That's what, yeah.
yeah.
There's a
So,
lot
careful.
of different scams. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was-
They're talented.